Hey there, powerful people. It's Mike Thornton, your transformation coach, coming back at you with some more information. And if you're thinking, coming back at me, this is module number 1. What are you talking about? Well, interesting story. We were really excited about the launch of this program and got everything ready, recorded our first video, and compiled our email list, got a lot of you guys enrolled in our coaching program. And then we had some technical difficulties yesterday. Not everybody received the emails that were supposed to go out. Some of you guys couldn't access the video. And I sent out an email to you guys today. Hopefully you received it. That said, you know what? That's kind of the perfect start to what we're doing here with Aligned Fitness Living. And here's what I mean by that. Sure, things went wrong. Things went really wrong. Would it have been ideal for everybody to get the video and get the emails and everything start off without any glitches? Sure. But that's kind of the beauty of even what we're covering in week 1 here, mindset, module 1, is an aligned mind, is because things aren't always going to go perfect. In fact, they're gonna go imperfectly a lot of the times. Stressful situations will arise. And it's the mindset that you take on when things like that start to occur that will really dictate whether you get closer to your goals or you're pulled farther away from them. So in the email today, I mentioned that it would have been really easy for me to go, oh my gosh, the video's not working for some people, and some of you guys aren't receiving the emails, and to get really stressed out by it, and to think that this whole thing is going to be a disaster and it's going to blow up in my face. But I didn't. Sure, those thoughts creep into your mind, but when you are the pilot of your mind, when you control where you're going, we're going to talk about that in this video, and you take an active control, you don't let it just sit on cruise control, but you become the pilot, you become the author, and dictate what goes on up in here, then you have the opportunity to replace those limiting beliefs, those things that try to sneak in and bring you down, with things that will empower you, things that will move you, things that will help you create action. And so my attitude is, hey, this was the perfect start because it gave me a perfect opportunity to talk about mindset and to talk about limiting beliefs and to talk about how things could have gone, but where I see them going. In fact, I believe what I've put together for you in this particular video blows away what I did in the first video. I looked at it and I thought, you know what, this is an opportunity to not only redo it so that everybody can get the video delivered to them, but to deliver it to you in a better fashion, to give you more information, to pour more of myself into it. And I want you to know that I think this is going to blow away what we did in the first video. As there's more information, we've put more information in here. The slide presentation is ready to go for you. So I just, it would have been easy to throw my hands up in the air and go, what now? But I looked at it as an opportunity to do it better and to get excited about where we're going for the next 8 weeks. So without further ado, let's get to it. Aligned Fitness Living, 8 weeks to a stronger, leaner, happier, and healthier you. Module 1, we're going to talk about an aligned mind. We're going to talk all about mindset in this module. And let me just tell you something really quick. This isn't in the notes, but I want you to know that if all you've got is 15 minutes to watch right now, watch 15 minutes and then come back and then watch another 15 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever it might be. You don't have to sit through this entire module right now. But I wanted to get you everything as promised and get you moving. Give you some things, some action steps to start taking. And so, take it in bits and pieces, or you can watch the whole thing through. I'm going to be that entertaining, right? That you're not going to be able to take your eyes off the screen. You're going to be mesmerized. Maybe that's a stretch. But point being, see where my mindset's at? It doesn't matter if it's true or not, but that's where my mindset's at. So module 1, an aligned mind. We're going to let me give you just some brief points about what we're going to cover in this video. What does it mean to have an aligned mind? What are your limiting beliefs? We've all heard that term before, right? Limiting beliefs. What are your limiting beliefs? And how do you change them to empowering beliefs? What is your personal mission or your purpose in life? And not just purpose in life, but let's whittle it down to fitness. What's your purpose? What's your mission with this fitness thing? In other words, what's your why? Why are you doing this? Why are you watching these videos? Why are you going to follow this plan? Why is this important to you? What's your vision? What is your clear-cut picture in your mind of the future that you want when it comes to your health and fitness? And then I want to talk to you about 5 mindsets that you absolutely must change immediately if you have any of these mindsets. And what I've found over the years is that these mindsets are very common to people that start a fitness program. So I'm not singling you out and saying, you've got these mindsets and you should be ashamed of yourself. No, this is everybody. And we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about, limiting beliefs and who's got them. And I think what we're going to outline here is some really important stuff. So what is an aligned mind? An aligned mind, by my definition, simply means that your belief system, your attitude, your internal and external dialogue with yourself and with other people, and your actions are in alignment with what your purpose is. In other words, what you think pushes you either closer to your vision, closer to your purpose, closer to what you want, instead of it pulling you farther away. And that's when you have an aligned mindset. Okay, I want you to think about it this way. Look at this fork in the road. Okay, on one side you see a belief system, some limiting beliefs. On the other side you see a purpose. And let's read through that purpose really quick. It says, I want to be stronger and leaner and happier and healthier so that I can feel more confident and have more energy. And I'm around for my children and their children. This is somebody that says, I want these things. I want to be stronger, leaner, and happier and healthier. And they have a good reason why. I want to be around for my children and their children. And I want to have more energy. And there's a lot of other reasons that can go into your purpose. We're going to talk about how to define your purpose in just a little bit. But you see this clear-cut purpose of where this person wants to go. And you see that side of the road going off a certain direction. But you're being pulled, this person is being pulled in another direction. They're going to end up going down a different path. Because if you look on the left, the belief systems that they have, I always fail at diets. I never have enough time. I'm fat, I'm lazy, I'm a loser. Those are pretty brutal, but sometimes people have those mindsets. I can't control what I eat at work. We're always having meetings and people are always inviting me out to lunch, and I can't control what I eat at work. I never follow through with anything. I've said I was going to do it many times, and every single time I get busy, I never follow through. That's just, that's a belief system I have about myself. How about this one? I hear this one all the time. I'll just never be thin. I'm just a thick person. It's in my family genes. It doesn't matter what's on the right side of the screen here. It doesn't matter how deep your purpose is and how badly you want it. You have to understand that if your belief systems that you have ingrained in your mind, and sometimes we're not aware of them. Maybe this will be an awareness type of module for you where you go, what? Those things, they do run through my mind sometimes, and they're keeping me from following the path that leads down to my purpose. But I hope you understand the reason why we start with mindset with this aligned fitness program is because none of the other stuff matters. None of the other stuff matters if your belief system pulls you in a way that is different. Basically, in other words, it's not aligned with what your purpose is. So what might the opposite look like? Well, here's an aligned mind. Notice this path just goes one direction, towards your purpose. And belief systems that are aligned with your purpose, with getting you where you want to go, you might hear things like, well, I can, and I am strong, and my past does not define me. My family history does not define me. I can make time for me because I'm worth it. I have the power to make decisions about food, at work, at home, on the road, on vacation. Being imperfect does not mean failure. I can stay on track. Being imperfect is part of being a human being. There are no perfect people. So when I mess up or don't necessarily do exactly what I was hoping I would do, it's okay because I'm a human being, and that doesn't mean I failed. It just means I need to get back on track. Okay, so do you see how these belief systems are going to lead you a lot? They're going to move you closer towards your purpose instead of having you veer off in another direction. Now, will you always be aligned? No. A perfect example is an airplane when it takes off. It has its destination in mind, and you have all the coordinates punched in, and you got your compass, and you got all your tools that you're using in your plane to help you get where you want to go. But there are going to be external factors like wind and weather and things that will push that plane around. Now here's the deal. On autopilot, okay, let's relate autopilot to your subconscious mind, meaning when we're not really mindful of what's going on, when we're really not just paying attention to the thought processes and things that are going on around us. Well, when you're on autopilot, it only does so much to keep you on track. Outside factors move you off track. With the plane, I mentioned the weather and things like that. And even on autopilot, that plane is not going to be able to just land itself and end up in the destination that it set out for unless there's a pilot that is adjusting that plane every time it goes off of course. So that's the thing. You're the pilot of your plane. A pilot, you are mindful of your thoughts, your attitude, and your speech, and your internal dialogue, the speech inside your head, and you take control of these areas to guide you on your path. So what I'm telling you is that, you're going to set yourself up with these aligned, mindsets, these empowering mindsets that are going to lead you towards your purpose. But that doesn't mean things aren't going to try to knock you off track. It will happen. That's life. And I want you to accept that and be okay with that, because otherwise you put too much pressure on yourself and you go for the perfection mindset, and we're going to talk about that as well. But does that make sense? And if you're just an autopilot and you're not paying attention to these things will knock you off course, and then pretty soon you're in that picture, you're veering off and you're not headed towards your purpose. But if you are the pilot and you take control of your plane, okay, of your destination, and as things start to move you off course, you bring yourself back onto the course to reach your destination. You're taking an active approach. You're being very mindful about these things, your thoughts, your attitudes, your speech. Then you're going to get closer and closer towards your purpose and towards your goal, towards your vision, instead of being pulled away from it. So changing limiting beliefs. First things first, I want to cover this. We all have limiting beliefs, all right? That does not make you any less powerful of a person. You always hear me address you as powerful people. That is because you are powerful. Just because you're a human being doesn't make you any less powerful. Just because you sometimes doubt creeps in doesn't make you any less powerful. The most important, and I use air quotes here, the most important people that you can think of, they have limiting beliefs at times. Now think about it. You got pro athletes. Okay, I wonder what Mr. LeBron James is thinking here as he's wrapping up his career with the Miami Heat. Maybe some limiting beliefs, maybe some doubt. I don't know. The presidents of the United States. Here's a picture of the ones that are still alive, and just the amount of doubt that must creep in with every decision that they have to make, and all the scrutiny that they have to take. You've got royalty. You've got inventors, you've got, religious people, and even astronauts and people with highly skilled positions. My point is this: no matter how important you think all these people that have it together are, they have limiting beliefs as well. So you having a limiting belief does not make you any less of a powerful person. Now, what's their secret? How do they get to the level that they're at if they have these limiting beliefs? Well, they've learned how to pilot the plane. They've learned how to replace limiting beliefs with empowering beliefs. And that's what we're going to talk about right now. So the secret, if you want to call it a secret, is not that they're perfect. It's not that doubt never creeps in. It's not that they don't have limiting beliefs about themselves or their abilities or their capabilities. It's that they recognize it, they are mindful of it, and they figure out ways to replace those limiting beliefs with things that make them more powerful. Okay? So the very first thing you have to do, step number one, is you have to identify what your limiting beliefs are. You have to write them out, as many of them that come to mind. And because we're talking about fitness, think about those areas of your life. When you think about your ability in exercise, maybe some of I think I might list some out here for you, but let's cover it now. Is a lot of times people think, well, I just never have time to exercise. That's a limiting belief. So you want to write that down. All right. One of the things I believe is that I never have time to exercise. Okay. That keeps me, when we say limiting belief, it limits you from reaching your vision, your goals, your purpose. It limits you. And that's why it's called limiting belief, is it keeps you from doing it. It pulls you farther away. Okay? They might sound like this. I never have time for me. I bet there's a lot of people watching this video right now that say, I've got kids, I've got all these other responsibilities, I've got all these other people that are counting on me. I don't have time for me. And it sounds real neat. It sounds real nice to say, I'll be the sacrificial lamb. I'll give away things that are important to me so I can take care of everybody else. But guess what? You'll take care of everybody else a lot better if you take care of you. Let me repeat that. You will take care of everybody else a whole lot better if you take care of you. All right, we'll get more to that in just a second, but think about some of these limiting beliefs, and if you've ever said any of them before. How about this one? I've tried every diet in the book and nothing works for me. Okay? How about I never follow through? We talked about that one. How about I'll just never be a thin person? Or it sounds anything like I am and then enter anything negative. If you've got a belief about yourself and you can look at it and say, what would you think if somebody else thought that about themselves? And you think, well, that's a pretty negative thought. Well, if you've got any of those, okay, that's a limiting belief. So back to our steps to changing beliefs. Once you've identified those limiting beliefs and you've written them out, and you're going to hear me talk about writing things out over and over and over again, and it will be in your homework assignment, okay? When you write something down, it increases the likelihood of your success. Okay, there's some connection there between writing it out and committing to it and locking it to your mindset. So we're going to write things out. Okay, good. Second thing you're going to do is you're going to rewrite that belief with something that will empower you and build you up. Basically, you're going to replace the limiting belief with a belief that's going to move you closer to your goals. So if you've got a goal, well, I've got them typed out here. So they might sound like this. I never have time for me. You might replace that with, I will make time for me because I'm worth it. I have just as much time as anyone else in the world, and I will choose to use it to take care of me. By taking time for me and taking care of me, I can have more energy to give to others and be around longer for my family. All right? Now, which one of those beliefs is going to move you closer to your goals? And which one of those beliefs is going to pull you farther away? They might sound like this. I've tried every diet in the book and nothing works for me. Scratch that. Put a line through it and say, I haven't tried everything in the book. I haven't tried this approach, and I believe that this approach sounds sustainable, and it will lead me to a happy and healthy lifestyle. Now, which of the beliefs, just if you had conviction and you had a belief, if you had conviction of, I've tried every diet in the book and nothing works for me. Now, if that's your attitude and that's your belief, and you heard how I said it because I really believe it, okay, is that going to push me or pull me? And how about this? If I say it with conviction, I haven't tried everything. I haven't tried this approach, and I truly believe that this is sustainable. And that's what I need. I need something that's sustainable, and it's going to lead me to a happy and healthy lifestyle. It might sound like this. I never follow through. You replace that belief with, just because I haven't followed through in the past does not mean I will not follow through this time. I'm determined and motivated, and I will absolutely follow through this time. Push or pull. Now, let's take a quick time out. Officially, time out, because I want to talk about what exactly is a belief anyway. And I'm going to give you basically two key points here. A belief is simply your best interpretation of the data that you have available to you. Your belief is your best interpretation of the data that you have available to you. Okay? But this is hugely important. Okay? So I want you, even though you're going to be able to print these notes out, you might want to write this one down, lock it to memory, commit to this thought. So I'm going to steal something that I saw Les Brown do one time, or I heard him do it in a speech. So I want you to do me a favor. This is hugely important, so you have to do this. I want you to put just one finger in one ear. Okay? Are you doing it? I can see you through the screen. One finger in the air. Come on, play along. Okay? I know, it's silly. So here we go. Hugely important. When it comes to your beliefs, true or false does not matter. What matters is if your beliefs push you closer or pull you farther from your purpose. Got it? Good. Now you can take your finger out of your ear. If you haven't figured out already, the reason why you had your finger in that ear is because I didn't want it to go in one ear and out the other. So you just kept it in there. It's rattling around now. Can you hear it? Yeah, I stole that from Les, so not mine. If it's corny, let's blame it on Les Brown. No, but he's great. No, that's hugely important. It's really, really important. This can really change everything if you understand this one concept. When it comes to your beliefs, whether it's true or whether it's false, does not matter. What matters is if your beliefs push you closer to your goals or pull you farther away from your goals, from your purpose. In the first video I cut, and I'll mention it briefly here, but one of the things that is really important to me is public speaking, and I love public speaking, and I want to get out there and I want to help more people. And I could either go, well, I haven't done it in so long, and there's a lot of other people that are much better than me, and so forth. And let me ask you this: how do you think I'm going to perform if I get up on a stage and those are the things that are going through my mind? Not very well. I'm not going to deliver anything of high quality. But if I believe in my mind, I am the best motivational speaker in the world. When I get up there, I'm going to pour myself into my audience. They're going to get motivated. They're going to be excited. They're going to love my stories. And it's just going to be a success. Now, it doesn't matter if that's true or not. It doesn't matter if I'm the best motivational speaker in the world. If I believe that, and I believe it with some conviction and some emotion, how am I going to do when I get up on that stage compared to the other limiting beliefs that I had before? So do you understand truth or being false? True or false doesn't matter when it comes to your beliefs. What matters is, will it move you closer to your purpose or will it pull you farther away? Isn't that liberating? You can believe anything you want about yourself. It doesn't have to be true or false. Will it move you closer to what you want? Pretty exciting stuff. So back to our steps to changing beliefs. When you get to step number 3, you have to look at what we call the emotional payoff of the old versus the new. The emotional payoff, the old versus the new. And here's what this means. If your belief is, I'll never be thin, it's in my genes, and the emotional payoff for you is that you get to gripe about it with other people that feel the same way, and you've got that link, that connection with them, and you feel connected, and that makes you feel good emotionally, that connection with people that are also griping about the fact that they'll never be thin or whatever it might be, then you have to determine, will the new belief system that I'm creating, the new belief, will the emotional payoff outweigh that? Because sometimes we have these emotional payoffs that the new belief, it doesn't compare to the emotional payoff of the other one. For example, some people, they don't want to go on an exercise program. They don't want to try to change anything because if they don't try to change anything, then they won't fail. And if they don't fail, they don't have to deal with that embarrassment. And that's the emotional payoff. But does that outweigh, what if you did change everything? What if you did find an exercise program that worked for you? What if you did lose weight? What if you did gain self-confidence? What would that emotional payoff be? So you have to be honest with yourself, and you have to write out what the emotional payoff is for each of these beliefs, and then circle the one that outweighs the other one. Does that make sense? Because you have to look at that. Your belief systems are, your emotions play a very huge role. So what's the emotional payoff of the old and the new? Okay, number 4 is you're going to reframe the evidence. You're going to reframe the evidence that you have in your mind, the things that have led you to believe what you believe. For example, and I think I might have an example. Let me jump ahead real quick. Reframe the evidence. Yes, reframing. Let's take the statement, I failed every time I tried dieting. That's your belief, right? I tried at least a dozen diets and none of them worked. That's the old evidence. I tried a dozen diets and none of them worked. Okay? What if you took that evidence and you reframed it somehow? And you said to yourself, okay, well, let me think about those diets that I did. And I did some of those really kind of extreme diets. And they're not really diets that I could have lived on for the rest of my life because, they cut my calories back so much, or they took out carbohydrates completely, or, they were really extreme and I couldn't make a lifestyle out of them. It wasn't something I could live by. So, come to think of it, I didn't fail. I just didn't follow a plan that took my personal needs into consideration. Does that make sense? We took the same scenario and we reframed the evidence to be something that squashes the old belief. So you have to reframe it. Reframe the evidence. And then number 5 is to find new evidence to support your new belief. Find new evidence. New evidence. So let's go back to this statement. I'll just always be thick. It's in my genes. That's your belief. My mom is big. My dad is big. My siblings are all big. That's the old evidence that led you to that belief, right? First, you're going to reframe it. And you're going to say, actually, nobody in my family eats a healthy diet, nor do they exercise. So that could be what contributes to them being overweight, not just the genes, right? So you've taken that evidence and you reframed it. And now you're going to find new evidence. And you're going to say, you know what? Brenda told me that everyone in her family is overweight, yet she's in the best shape of her life. So weight must not be simply determined by your genes, because I've got Brenda over here, her family's all overweight, but yet Brenda, new evidence, is in shape. So hey, if Brenda can do it, there's some evidence there, I can do it as well. Heck, you can read through testimonials of any of our Align Fitness and any of the people that I've worked with, and you'll find a story that you can relate to. That's why we have testimonials. It's not to make us look have glowing reviews. It's not from me. Every single person I've asked for a testimonial, I always tell them, will you share this so that in case somebody like you, somebody that can relate to your story, comes across it, it might inspire them to take action? Because that's it. We need new evidence. We need people that we can relate to that will help us with those belief systems. And maybe one day you're going to share your testimonial with me. I hope so. So, this is important. You're going to write them out and you're going to put them where you can see them every single day. Now, this is a very simplified sticky note that I just grabbed off the web. Excuse me, let me get a little bit of water here. Read through it as, there's some good things there. But this is simplified. You're going to write out your beliefs and you're going to put them somewhere where you can see them every single day. And you're going to read through them. And we're going to get how to do that in just a moment. Okay, now you might be thinking, okay, I am beautiful, I am strong, I am powerful, I can do this. Starting to sound a little Stuart Smalley, Daily Affirmations with Stuart Smalley. I thought you might think so, which is why I want to talk about Stuart Smalley. And if you don't know who he is, maybe I'm dating myself, but I think you might. And you can do a Google search, but he was a Saturday Night Live character, and why did this not work? Why did his daily affirmations not work? If you've ever seen the character, he has no confidence whatsoever. But the whole skit is based on him giving him these daily affirmations, and he looks in the mirror and he talks about how, I'm good enough and I'm smart enough and doggone it, people like me. And throughout the entire skit, he'll say things like, well, I was on a diet and it didn't work, but that's okay. I'm going to get through it. And he'd always end with, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. And he would just kind of like, yeah. Like he didn't really believe it. He was just saying it, but you could hear it in his voice, and you could see it on his face. You could see it in his face in the mirror right here. He just never really believed it. And that's why it was funny. It was comical. But that's why it didn't work, right? I know it's just a character, but that's why it doesn't work for people at times, is because they say, well, I'm going to believe this, but then they don't really believe it. They don't have the emotional charge that is necessary, the passion behind it for them to really believe it. You have to get emotionally charged up when you're talking about your belief systems. And we're going to do a whole segment on emotions, but if you're going to list out these new beliefs, you got to put some emotion behind it. You got to put some charge behind it. You got to put some fire in your belly. Here's the definition of belief, okay? I took this from the web. Conviction of the truth of some statement or the reality of some being or phenomenon, especially when based on examination of evidence. Let's just focus on the first part. Conviction of the truth of some statement. Conviction of the truth of some statement. What does conviction mean? Well, conviction is the feeling of being sure that what you believe or say is true. The feeling. What do we think of when we think of feelings? Emotions, right? Emotions. So you have to have conviction. You have to have the feeling of being absolutely sure and certain that what you believe and what you're saying is true. Was Stuart Smalley? No. He didn't have conviction. He didn't have the right feeling. He didn't have certainty, and he surely wasn't sure. Okay? And that's the whole reason why that doesn't work. You have to have conviction. So conviction is the key. Say it with me. Conviction is the key. So let's look at the old, in the red, old belief. You have your old evidence. You have that emotional payoff. And it equals a limiting belief. It keeps you from getting closer. It pulls you from your purpose. But we take our new belief that we want. We reframe the evidence to be supportive of that new belief. We find as much new evidence as we can to support that new reframed belief. We add in the conviction, and that's where you get an empowering belief. Okay? Now, that's limiting beliefs. We're going to take limiting beliefs and we're going to set it aside. But you will find in your homework assignment that you need to list out your limiting. Listen, this isn't just a video that you watch. This is a program that you do. Say that with me. This is not a program that I just watch. This is a program that I do. Okay? And so, yes, we're sharing some information here, but you must take action. You must take action for this program to work. If you don't act on these points, now that's another reason why we're doing it in just one little segment a week. Okay, so that you go, you know what, I can do this. I can write out my beliefs and my mission and my vision, which we're getting ready to cover. That's something I can do this week and focus on. Now, if I were to throw to you, hey, here's the new workout program I want you to do, and here's the new diet that I want you to do, and I want you to write out your mission and your vision, and I want you to write out your beliefs, and I want you to do this, and I want you to do that, and we did everything all in week one, guess what? Not going to happen. You remember I promised you that this was a different approach, and I hope that you see that. So now we've set limiting beliefs aside. I want to talk about U Corporation. What is U Corporation? U Corporation is the business of you. I want you to think of yourself as a business. I want you to think of your life as a business. What do corporations? Think about it. Why do companies have a mission statement? A mission statement is a statement which is used as a way of communicating the purpose of an organization. The mission statement should guide the actions of the organization, spell out its overall goal, provide a path, and guide decision making. Not reactions, decision making. When we're not mindful, we react. When we're mindful and we guide our decisions, we make decisions. Okay? When you make decisions based on your purpose, you're going to be much more successful. When you react to things happening around you without thinking about it, not as much. Okay? So what about you, corporation? What about you? Well, you have a personal mission statement, don't you? If you don't, if you think about it, why is it any more important for a company to have a mission statement? Aren't you just as important as a company? Absolutely. It's your life we're talking about here. So you need to have a personal mission statement. And your personal mission statement is a brief description of what you want to focus on, what you want to accomplish, and what you want to become. It is a way to focus your energy, your actions, behaviors, and decisions towards the things that are most important to you, the individual. All right? So, personal mission statement. So, what's your mission? What's your purpose? Here's some questions that you're going to be asked to answer in your homework assignment, but let's kind of just think through it right now. What do you want to focus on? I know this whole program is about fitness. What area? What do you want to focus on? What do you want to accomplish? Be as specific as possible. What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to become? What is most important to you? And why? Why is it important? And then you'll get an answer, and you'll say, well, why is that important? And then you'll get an answer, and you'll say, well, why is that important? And then you're going to get an answer, and when you can no longer ask why, boom, you've reached your purpose. Your why is your purpose. Why are you doing this? Why does it matter? Well, because I want to lose weight. No, that's not why. Why do you want to lose weight? Well, because, I'll get back into my skinny jeans and some clothes that are really okay. That's not your purpose. Why? Why is that important to you? Well, because it just makes me feel better about myself. It makes me have more confidence, and that's what's important to me. Boom, your purpose. Why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to get in the best shape of your life? Why do you want to be stronger and leaner? Well, because, I want to get off my medications. Okay, well, that's not the reason why. Why do you want to get off your medications? Well, because, I know I'll feel better and be healthier. Okay, well, that's still not it. What does that mean? Well, it means that I'm going to be around for my kids and my grandkids and have more energy to spend with them. I want to be here for my loved ones. That's your purpose. So come up with your mission statement. Write it out. Treat you, corporation, like you would any other business. It's your life. It deserves a mission. Vision statements. Why do companies have a vision statement? Quite simply to describe where they want to go long term as an organization, to paint a picture of the future. So, we're going to create a personal vision statement for you as well. Now, there's two types of vision statements, okay? There's the written vision, and then there's the mental vision, okay? Let's talk about the written vision statement first. And I don't know if you've ever written one before, but if you haven't, they're so fun to create because you get to look into the future and say, what do I want my future to look like? And you write it out with no limits. The first point says no limits. The second thing is you need to write it in first person. I am doing this. I look like this. I speak like this. Whatever it might be, but you write it in first person. And you write it in the present tense as if it's already happening. I am up on the stage and I am delivering a motivational speech to a group of people and I'm energizing them and I'm motivating them and we have an energy back and forth. I'm writing it as if it's happening, okay? And you want to describe the ideal version of you as if it's already happening, already happened. Okay, and so if you're writing that out, this is your written vision statement, no limits, write it in first person, in the present tense, and describe your ideal version of you as if it's already happened, as if you're already there in that moment. That's your written vision statement. It doesn't, I've read that some people say, well, keep it to, 50 to 100 words, no limits. If it's short, it's short. You know what you want for yourself in the future. For fitness, it might be, I'm looking in the mirror and I see myself and I look, I'm in my skinny jeans and I feel confident and I'm standing tall and my head is up and I can see the gleam in my eye. I'm excited, whatever it might be, but you create that vision, a vision. The mental picture version, or it says mental picture vision, different version as well. Again, no limits, but you want to draw that picture up in your mind. Envision you as you want to see you. Okay? Vivid, vivid, vivid. Be as vivid as possible. As many colors, as much imagery as you can possibly create. You're making a movie here. And come up with these questions. What are you doing in that vision? What are you saying in that vision? How are you acting in that vision? What are you wearing? How do you walk? How do you talk? What's your aura? What do you look like? And just create that mental picture in your mind. I love this from Brian Tracy, and if you don't know Brian Tracy, he's a fantastic writer and motivational speaker. But he says the law of concentration states that whatever you dwell upon grows. The more you think about something, the more it becomes part of your reality. So do you want to focus on those limiting beliefs and dwell on those limiting beliefs so that they become more of your reality? Or do you want to become that pilot and guide yourself to your purpose and have a mission statement and a vision, written vision statement, and a mental vision that you have in your mind, and beliefs written out that empower you? And what if you have all that and you dwell upon it and that becomes part of your reality? Pretty cool. We've all heard everything is first created in the mind, and it is absolutely true. But it doesn't happen by accident. I hope you remember all the important people that I showed you, and I said, how did these guys get where they're going? It's because it didn't happen by accident. They took charge. They became the pilot. Okay? So you're the author of the future. And don't worry about what you've done in the past. The past does not define you. The future is defined by what you come up with right now. What will it look like? That's your vision and your mission. How are you going to get there? What's important to you right now? What steps are you going to take? Who are you going to be? What actions are you going to take? And that will get you to your future if you dwell on it. So I have 5 quick mindsets I want you to change immediately if you have these mindsets. And if you don't, just double check it, okay? But the first one is the perfection mindset. I'm either perfect or I'm failing. Black or white. On or off. Good or bad. The perfection mindset is deadly when it comes to fitness. And we see it every single January when people go into New Year's resolutions and they try to be perfect. They try to hit the gym every single day for an hour. They try to eat perfectly. They try to change everything at once, and they're either perfect or they go, heck, I can't do this. And then they just stop. Well, good news. You're in the right place because I am the preacher of imperfections. I tell my clients all the time, it's not about being perfect. It's about planning around your imperfections. And even still, if you're imperfect, don't worry about it. Take that load off your shoulders because a fitness lifestyle is not about perfection. We're human beings. None of us are perfect. You're going to get results, and you're going to need to be mindful of those results and then make decisions. Don't be reactive. Be a decision maker. Okay? But get rid of the perfection mindset. Say it right now. Say, I'm imperfect. I'm imperfect. And I'm all right with that. Okay? The second mindset is the temporary mindset. The changes I'm making are just for the time being, right? I'm just going to do this plan for the time being. I'm just going to jump on this diet for the time being. I'm just going to do this workout plan for the time being. If you're trying to fix something permanently with a temporary approach, it will not work. So I want you to understand that the reason why we are slowly dripping this information to you throughout this 8 weeks, just a segment at a time, is because it needs to be sustainable. It needs to be something that you say, oh, something new to add this week. Oh, this week I can add something new. And we're not overloading you with everything all at once because it needs to become ingrained into your lifestyle. That's what a lifestyle means. You live by it. Okay, so you got to get rid of the temporary mindset. If you have it, if any part of you thinks, well, what am I going to do at the end of this 8 weeks? Well, I'm going to go back to my normal stuff. No, this 8 weeks is about changing your habits and changing your thinking and changing little things that you're doing habitually. Okay, so that it becomes a lifestyle. Okay, so temporary mindset out, permanent mindset in, lifestyle mindset in. Number 3, the all or nothing mindset. Okay, I either do an hour on the treadmill or it's not worth my time going in. Okay, and this kind of goes with the perfection mindset as well, but it's a little different. Okay, the all or nothing, and you probably watched the free video series that I shared with you where we talked about the 5-minute mindset, about going and doing 5 minutes of cardio. I mean, yeah, believe it or not, there have been days where I go in there, and I don't feel like being there, and I do 5 minutes of cardio, and then I leave. And there are some days where I get in there, I do 5 minutes of cardio, and I start to feel pretty good. And then I do 5 more minutes and 5 more minutes. Before I know it, I've done 45 minutes. We'll talk more about the 5-minute mindset. But the all or nothing mindset, you've got to get rid of. It's not, again, black and white. I want you to say, even the little things make a difference. Even the little things that I do make a difference. It doesn't have to be these big, huge things that you're doing all the time, okay? Number 4 is the past experience mindset. My past results will dictate my future. Throw it out. What you've done in the past, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. How successful you've been, how much you've failed, actions that you've taken, results that you've gotten, none of it matters. At this point, you're moving forward. You're moving forward with a different approach. And number 5, I isolate this one because I feel very strongly about this one. The comparison mindset. You compare yourself to others, whether it be good or whether it be bad. Friends, coworkers, magazines, television stars, celebrities, you name it. But you compare yourself. Charts. I should put charts on here as well. Don't worry about what charts tell you. You are after the best version of you. That's what this whole thing is about. It's about you. So don't get caught up in comparisons. Don't look and say, well, geez, I'll never look like that person, or I'll never have that ability. Don't do that to yourself, okay? Because you are a powerful person, and you inside here are perfect just the way that you are. If there's some things that you want to change about yourself physically and health-wise, that's fine. But realize you're made the way that you're supposed to be. And part of being made the way that you're supposed to be is that you have this power inside of you that we keep talking about to make changes. Okay? So don't worry about what anybody else is doing around you. Okay? Because we know there's a lot of nonsense out there. We can't believe everything we see on a magazine cover or on Facebook or any other place in social media. You know there's a lot of nonsense out there. Say it. I know there's a lot of nonsense out there, and I won't buy it. I'm here for me. Okay? So back to the 5-minute mindset. I want to talk about it really quick because here we go. Here's some action steps. You're going to list out those beliefs that we talked about. You're going to list out your mission statement, your vision. You're going to create your mental picture vision. And I want you to start your day. This is your first assignment that is going to start incorporating to habits that you do that will change your life. This is the first thing that you're going to do that will change your life. You're going to start your day spending just 5 minutes on your mindset in the morning. Morning time. I don't care if it's in the shower, on the way to work, in a quiet room, for 5 minutes, because you can do anything for 5 minutes, okay? You're going to read through your new beliefs with conviction. Don't just try to get it done. Make it count, okay? Get this working for you early in the day. Read your mission and your vision with emotion. Spend 2 to 3 minutes visualizing your vision for the future as vividly as possible. So you're going to read through your beliefs. What's that going to take? 30 seconds to a minute? You're going to read your mission and your vision. About another minute? You're going to spend 2 to 3 minutes visualizing in your mind who you are in that present moment, what it looks like, what you sound like, what you're wearing, as vividly as possible. 5 minutes. Now here's some key points to remember to the 5-minute mindset, and you're going to hear more and more about this 5-minute. Man, this is going to be one of our greatest tools. Okay? Key point number 1, 5 minutes does do something. Don't dismiss this short amount of time. That's the all or nothing. Remember the all or nothing mindset we just talked about? You got to get rid of that. The all or nothing mindset says, 5 minutes, that's not going to do anything. 5 minutes of cardio, that's not going to do anything. Spending 5 minutes on my mindset in the morning, that's not going to do anything. That's all or nothing. Get rid of that mindset and realize you replace that all or nothing with 5 minutes does do something. So don't dismiss it. It does do something. Say it. It says it right here on the screen. Say it. It does do something. Okay? At the end of 5 minutes, here's how this works. You simply ask yourself if you can do another 5 minutes. Okay? I just finished my 5 minutes. Yes. I'm feeling good. Can I go another 5 minutes? You know what? I'm going to spend another 5 minutes on this. Okay? If you decide you can go another 5 minutes, you do the entire 5 minutes. You repeat the process. Okay? If not, this is important. You tell yourself, hey, awesome. I just spent 5 minutes to make sure I'm in the right mindset for the rest of my day. This is going to be fantastic. Okay? Now, I realize that sometimes we don't wake up with, supercharged emotions and feeling excited, and sometimes we're tired and so forth. And so, you know what? If you have to fake it till you feel it, fake it. Fake it. Fake it till you feel it. If you get in there and you go, man, I'm so tired, but I just know that I'm going to be successful and this is my belief, and you fake it some point in there, because when you fake it, you're using your body and you're getting certain things going, it'll kick in, okay? So, if not, just tell yourself, hey, great job on the 5 minutes, and then move on with your day. That's it. 5 minutes does do something. And if you can repeat the 5 minutes, do it. And then every 5 minutes, you ask the same question again. You might find that on one rainy Saturday that you go through this, 3 times and spend 15 minutes on your mindset that day. How incredible. You might also find that each day you just have 5 minutes, but you spent 5 minutes on your mindset that day. So here's some questions for you. I want you to think about this. Is this different than something you've tried before? Could it then possibly bring you a different result? What would be different in 8 weeks if every day you spent at least 5 minutes at the start of your day getting absolutely clear on what you wanted, who you wanted to be, and what you believed about yourself? What would be different 8 weeks from now if just every day for 5 minutes? We're going to find out because you're going to do it, right? How will that day be different? Just that one day, how will it be different? And how would it be if you didn't take the time? If you just said, I don't have time, and you walked out the door and you let all the craziness, the traffic, and the kids getting to school and trying to stop for coffee, and the coffee line is long, and then there's a traffic jam, and then you walk in and there's memos on your desk, or whatever it might be. But you never had the opportunity to get clear that day on who you want to be, what you want to accomplish, and what you truly believe about yourself and your abilities. How's your day going to be different? So, I didn't type it out here, but one of the things I'll tell you is, yes, you want to try to do this early in the day because it sets the tone. It sets the tone for the day. But if for some reason you don't get it in the morning, do it at lunch. And if for some reason you don't get it done at lunch, do it on the way home. Turn the radio off for 5 minutes. Put the phone down for sure. And don't worry about checking emails and texts. Take 5 minutes for you, because this is important to you. So, that's Module 1. Mindset. Aligned mindset. Okay? Remember, it's called an aligned mindset because the things that we just talked about, you get to put them where you want them. That will lead you to your purpose. If you don't put them where you want them, they will be pulled by other things and you will be pulled in another direction. That's where the word aligned comes from, right? Putting things where we need them to be to get us to where we want to go. So I don't know if you know what you're looking at right there. Do you know what you're looking at? I bet you can guess it. You have a clean slate. The past does not dictate the future. The old beliefs that you have don't have to be your beliefs anymore. You can be clear on your purpose. You can be clear on your mission. You can be clear on your vision. You can create it and dwell on it. Remember our Brian Tracy quote? Dwell on it and let it become your reality. You have a clean slate. Here's the chalk. You got to pick it up and you got to write it out and you got to live by it. All right? More to come, but this is it. This is the module for this week. This is everything. You'll find the homework assignment. I want you to print it out. I want you to write these things out. You need to put them where you can see them. You need to go through them every day for 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking you to do right now. I'm not asking you to start running. I'm not asking you to start lifting weights. I'm not even asking you to focus on your diet right now. This week, I want you to get clear on your mindset and align it and lead you to your purpose. Module number 2 will be coming to you next week. Your emails will keep coming every single day. In the meantime, I'll be rooting you on.